Hello, my name is Maisie Sturrock, and today we will be talking about the controversy on corporate political spending. Should corporate entities support campaign finance? The first law to be enacted to regulate corporate political donations was the Truman Act in 1907. This followed the 1904 election between Theodore Roosevelt and Alton B. Parker. Roosevelt received a pretty substantial amount of donations for his campaign. He did win. This led the public to question the integrity of the American government. Up until 1944, all associated corporate political donations were banned. In 1944, PACs became a thing. This is when corporations could organize a group of individuals that donated their funds from their own account, separate of the corporation's account, to support political campaigns. There were no laws broken here because the corporate accounts were not the ones making the donations. As you can see here, there's a graph that shows the public versus experts' opinions. This was a pool of about 4,000 Americans. As you can see at the bottom, the majority of both groups believes that campaign finance reform is needed to restore the integrity of the American democracy. They kind of came into conclusion. Give you a second to look at the other pieces of the graph here. There are some pros that go along with political donations from corporations. Corporations that donate to the winning candidate end up having their stocks actually grow post-election. So this benefits the corporation. PACs in a positive light. What makes a successful campaign? You need to have that financial support in order to be successful in your campaign. The government does regulate corporations very heavily in the United States. Without corporations, our economy wouldn't be what it is today. So really, corporations are going to be looking at the candidates that support their needs best. And they will go for those people. And successful corporations are what runs America. Even small businesses still use corporations, so they're pretty important. There are cons. Studies have shown that it decreases employee productivity, specifically on the managerial team. The focus gets lost, when you're looking at what funds are going where, how are we going to organize a PAC. They're not really focusing on the corporation's values and the business side of things. So that can negatively affect the lower ranking employees. Their responsibility as a manager will start to fall towards those lower ranking employees if they are not paying attention to what they need to do and what their assignments are, etc. There is also ethical risk, social upset, revenue decreases when people are boycotting you because you are supporting a political campaign that they do not support. That it's definitely a risk that you have to take as a corporate entity. In the news, we all know what happened January 6th. It's going to be pretty substantial information for the rest of history. Post January 6th, a lot of corporations paused their PACs and were not doing any spending. That is not the case now. We have a lot of corporate entities really giving a lot of funds to those politicians that were in support of President Trump that day. Regardless of the facts, regardless of what we know about the election and it being fraudulent, they are still pushing that agenda here. So personally, my point of view, funding is not a bad thing. Candidates need the funds, although I do believe that these funds are not going into the hands of the right people. We have a lot of power-hungry candidates. We have a lot of power-hungry politicians that are willing to push agendas at the cost of Americans. It is fundamental for our democracy for candidates to be successful, winner or loser, and that does require funds. So do not have a problem with corporations funding. It's a great way to get funds, although I do still question our politicians. Great example is environmental regulations. Corporates are going to go for the more conservative party that are not willing to have those regulations that are going to make our world a healthy, safe environment for all of us. So just something to consider. Again, corporate political spending, not so bad. The politicians that are running, questionable. And that's about all I have for you guys today. I'll let you take a quick look at my references here. Pause if you need to. Thank you for letting me speak today, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.